Cliff Godwin. Coach, just get your thoughts on the game and staying alive, advancing to the semifinal round.
Yeah, we've had a few long games for sure. I just thought our guys continued to battle. We were put together a big inning early. Starling gets in a drag bunt, and then Carter gets a swing off. Obviously, the wind was a little bit different, or he'd had a walk-off home run there late. So really proud of all of our guys just gutting it out. A lot of guys came off the bench. AMAC, we weren't even sure if he was going to be able to go today. He's been throwing up all night and having diarrhea, and I had an IV this morning, and we had to get him out of the game. He's back at the hotel. Nate Crispin came off the bench, did a great job. Kind of Rasmussen came off the bench and lined out to right field. Dixon Williams, Nowak had a couple big knocks there coming off the bench when we pitch ran for Claunch. So great team effort. Savage was a stud. Landon Ginn was a stud. Danny Bill and Spivey, man, they're on fumes, and they're just giving us everything they had. And I thought Groves had a great start as well.
Do you have anything for Coach in the room, Trace?
Coach, UCF, you jumped out ahead of UCF and they battled back. What does it say about that team? They just kept like.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think Love, my hat's off to him. They get a single, they're down 5, and they go first pitch hit and run. And with Jostin, who can swing and miss, and I mean, he lined the ball into left field. It was executed perfectly, but I was really proud of Groves of how he managed that inning, because it could have really got out of hand, and he got a double play ball and then a big strikeout, and we only gave up 2 runs.
Okay, we'll start with Stephen Igo on the Zoom, please.
Coach, obviously Savage, another great performance, and bringing him back after the delay, I know he was a little rusty, but take us through kind of those conversations and if he wanted to come back, that sort of thing.
Do you think I put him out there without him wanting to come back, Stephen?
I'm gonna assume he wanted to come back.
Yeah, he said that last year in the Super Regional that he sat for 5 hours, which I had forgotten, and he was throwing the ball 95 miles an hour. So I would never put a kid at risk. He felt great. Our athletic training staff and Kevin Youngs did a great job keeping him warm, keeping him loose, and he felt awesome. So he will not pitch anymore this week. He will be ready to go for the regional next week.
We'll go to Patrick Mason, please.
Coach, for Justin Wilcoxen in that last at bat, he gets intentionally walked the previous 2 at bats, and he really hadn't swung since the 7th inning. So I guess what's the key to just him, having maybe a slow heart rate in that at bat and just kind of working the count and getting a good swing off?
Well, J-Dub's been so crucial for us this year. I mean, you talk about, you've caught 13 innings. He's caught every inning this week, and just been able to slow it down. I mean, he's a 4th-year player. He's been in our program. He's been in some big moments as a hitter. Last year he DH'd first left-handed pitching, hit a big home run in the regional against UVA. So one of the hardest workers on our team, and my hat's off to him. I mean, look, the guy made him look kind of stupid on the first 2 changeups he threw him, and then finally hung him one, and J-Dub was able to get enough barrel to get into right field.
We'll go to Eric Lopez, please, for the next.
Coach, in a different life a while ago, when you and I used to talk, you used to tell me that you told your hitters that 2-out hitting got you championships. It didn't win you a championship today, but it got you to play another day. Just talk about that philosophy of 2 outs and making the other team pay, especially if they give you an extra opportunity.
Yeah, I think our lineup, if you give us extra outs, which UCF did a couple times today, but I think it also goes to just our guys putting pressure. But 2-out RBIs win championships, and you're right, it wasn't a championship today, but some of those 2-out RBIs throughout the season got us a regular season championship.
Okay, next one from Steven.
Coach, just how do you feel about the pitching going to tomorrow? I know you're going to take it 1 game at a time, but you feel pretty good about some guys not throwing to this point. I know y'all have used Danny and Carter a lot, but just about the rest of the guys.
Yeah, we'll reevaluate it, for sure. I mean, Danny wants to pitch every day. He's one of the most resilient guys as far as his arm bouncing back. But Saylor will start game 1, and that's all we're going to worry about is game 1. Then we'll go from there.
Okay, last one from Bryson, please.
Your team has been through now 3 marathon level games going several hours this weekend. Can you talk about how your team has just been able to stay dialed in throughout this week, because they've really had to do that?
Yeah, it's been hard, but every regional that we have played in the past couple of years, we've had rain delays. So some of these older guys have been through it. We don't make excuses, or at least that's what we preach. You can control what you can control. Obviously, you can't control the weather, but our guys just battled. I'm super proud of them.
Coach, thanks for the type. Joined now by Justin Wilcoxen. We'll start with questions from Stephen, please.
Justin, take us through that last at bat, man. I know that he was pretty change-up heavy and finally got you on that last pitch. So walk us through that thing.
Yeah, for sure. So going up into the at-bat, we knew that his changeup was his best pitch. He's going to throw it with runners on, especially in scoring position. As Coach was saying, I did look stupid on the first two, but eventually I was able to take the high fastball and then get enough barrel on the hung changeup to score the run and win the game for us.
Next one from Patrick Mason.
Justin, I asked Coach as well, but what's the key, or how do you stay locked in, or maybe not too aggressive? When you get intentionally walked the first couple times, or the previous two times, when you get opportunity to win it there at the end.
The first thing I'm thinking about is the breath I'm going to take before I get in the box, and in between every pitch, however I feel. I mean, whether it's red light release or green light release, if I'm feeling good, I'm going to take a breath on a focal point and then refocus and get back in the box ready for the next pitch.
Justin, for you, when you're rounding first and you see that ball hit the ground, like, is it relief after 13 innings or elation? Like, what's that feeling like?
I'll probably a little bit of both there. I mean, it was a long game for sure, but seeing that ball hit the grass and seeing all those guys run out it's the best feeling ever, and I couldn't imagine it anywhere else.
One more from Patrick.
Justin, when you're catching a lot of pitches today, but, especially Trey, he had a lot of electric stuff. And then for him to come back out after the delay, maybe he's a little wild, kind of working back into the game. Are you telling him anything, or just, how do you guys kind of handle that situation?
I mean, when you got a guy that good, he's got his own keys that he can focus in on. And I mean, pregame in the bullpen, you kind of help him with setups and stuff, but he's pretty easy. He's pretty easy to work with. He knows exactly what's going to help him get back and locked in. I just got to make sure I'm there to block and make sure I'm there to receive and set up a good target for him, and pick him up in between innings too.